All right, everybody, welcome to the first Kaleb DGAF show with none other than Adam himself, or Adam Steele, or Renegade Adam. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Staying busy. Life has been hectic lately. Been traveling around a lot.
Oh yeah,
Excited though for the upcoming season. Excited to see Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, whoever our quarterback is. It's funny. It's a weird time to be a Steelers fan. You know what I mean? So many things are changing right
yeah.
now.
It's like this is like the most excited I've been in an off season, and I don't know how long, just
Yeah,
because of everything we've had going on, not having a quarterback or knowing which quarterback's going to be the guy.
yeah.
Super, super interesting, and obviously, Ben retiring was, I think, hard on all of us.
It was. It was tough, man. God. I mean, I wish I went to the last. I was supposed to go to the last Cleveland game, the one that they played at home. So I think that was week 17 or 16. It was the second to last week of the season.
It
And I
would
was
have been week
supposed to,
17 now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was supposed to go, but last minute something with work came up, so I couldn't go. But I watched it on TV, and it must have been amazing to be there in person, like just and watching him go around the stadium at the end and just literally thank like every fan who was there. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's what's funny is Kevin from Terrible Tailgate. I actually
Yeah.
won tickets to that game.
Okay.
I caught COVID.
No kidding. At that
Yeah.
game.
Oh
Worth
yeah.
it though,
No,
right?
no, no, before.
Oh,
We couldn't
no
because
way, dude.
I'm out in Colorado, so we had to figure out planes and everything like that. But
That's a
caught
bummer.
COVID. But we ended up going to Kansas City 2 weeks later to
Yeah.
the playoff game, and
Yeah. Well,
my dad, sister, and I drove down there. So
wasn't
it was a
wasn't
fun
the
time.
yeah, I mean, wasn't the best game though to be a part of.
No, no. I think deep down tailgating, we all knew what the outcome was going to be.
I think most people did. If we were being honest, like you're going into Chiefs Stadium with freaking I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
Say no more. It's
and
Patrick Mahomes. He's a
and it
monster.
was it was our offense last year too. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But all right, well, let's get on. Let's talk about a little bit about yourself and what kind of got you started in your production of YouTube videos.
Yeah. So how far back do you want to go? You want to go back to the Steelers days or like YouTube when I first started YouTube?
We'll go back to when you started the Steelers content.
Okay. Yeah. So that was, I think I started Steelers content, I want to say 2 off seasons ago. Or no, you know what I did? It was 2020 that I started Steelers content, I believe. And it was like week 8 or so. So I started like halfway through the season, just kind of making like random stuff. It wasn't anything crazy. It was 2020 was when Ben came back from the elbow injury, right? Yes.
Yeah,
He played
'cause,
2020.
yeah, 2019 he was, and 2020 was the first year of COVID.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ben came back from the elbow injury, and like halfway through that season, I just wanted, I just, I was watching a lot of Steelers YouTubers, and I think they're awesome. Like I love a lot of them, but I just felt like there was like a lot of stuff that was being missed because there was only so many, like there was only like I think 2 or 3 at the time Steelers YouTubers.
Mhm.
Um, and I saw them like covering the games and stuff, which I thought was cool, but I didn't see anyone who was like kind of going after the media and like the stuff that they were saying about the Steelers and like especially Ben Roethlisberger at the time, who was just everyone in the media hates Ben Roethlisberger to this day. But I thought there was like kind of like a missing, like there was a gap in content there. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and just make some content. So I started making videos. First, I just put like highlights up of like stuff that I thought was cool. I did that a couple times with like 2 or 3 of my first videos.
Uh,
And then I started to do like commentary stuff where I kind of lashed out at like media members who were lashing out at the Steelers. So to me, it was like a way to give like a voice to like Steelers fans that's actually out there on the internet in a substantial way. on a
Yeah.
video platform on YouTube, something like that, where like, you know, the average Steeler fan, they hear something that, you know, Colin Cowherd says, or like, you know, Stephen A. Smith says, Max Kellerman, whatever, pick your talking head. And like, they disagree with, and they're like, no, what the hell? Like, like, what are you talking about? You clearly don't watch the Steelers. You don't know what you're talking about. So I was just like, I started with that, just basically bashing and roasting media members. And that's kind of what got my foot in the door of like Steelers YouTube.
Yeah, I remember I used to enjoy watching Colin Cowherd because he used
Yeah.
to be all on the Steelers bandwagon and everything like that. And then just, I think after Ben's injury, he just
Yeah.
flipped it all around and he was like, they're the worst, they're this, they're
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. Now I can tell with Trubisky or Pickett, whoever it's going to be, he's already trying to flip that narrative around again.
Right. Like he's coming back around almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what it was with. I mean, I guess I get it. Like Ben went through controversy, but I feel like for the last 10 years of his career, he was just really kind of just in the background behind the scenes. He wasn't doing anything. He was never in the news, but people just hated him.
And he had top 3 quarterback like seasons.
Yeah.
Whenever we had the killer bees with AB
Yeah.
and L Bell, which
Yeah.
they try and give AB and L Bell all the credit. But
Right.
I mean, how many receivers have we seen in Ben's tenure that have, you know,
Oh yeah.
been top 10 receivers and they go somewhere else and don't do anything? AB did something, you know, he won a Super Bowl. He also
All the
followed
time.
Brady around. So
All the time. That happened for every receiver except for Emmanuel Sanders, and Emmanuel Sanders went and played with Peyton Manning. So
I would say, yeah, I guess we could say Burris too, but it was only
Yeah.
a small sample size in
yeah.
his rookie year that he had him.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's what, so like with your YouTube videos, what I enjoy the most is that you actually like you go into detail and you watch like the all 22 films and everything like that. I guess it gives you a leg to stand on whenever you're going at the
Right.
media members, because you're actually, you know, watching. They say they're watching it, but you're taking it to another level.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you probably watch it for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah. All 22 tape is like, for anyone who's out there, if you want to know football, definitely watch all 22 tape, but it is boring because it's just silent. There's no sound. You don't have the announcers talking. There's zero pads hitting. There's nothing. It's just mute sound. And you're just watching the snaps from like 3 or 4 angles of every play.
Yeah.
So it gives you a really good vantage point of everything, but it is a lot of work to just go in and first watch the game and then chop up clips that you actually want to talk about, and then talk about those clips and record that and then splice it all together. It's an unreal amount of work. It's crazy, dude.
I mean, you're doing the work of a coaching staff.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to put content out for everybody like us.
Yeah.
And I mean, it works. It's taking you above and beyond from, you know, watching your YouTube, all your videos, and seeing the viewer counts on it. Like I think your Kenny Pickett one after we drafted him got what, 34?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but
Yeah.
it's, you know, it did solid for sure. Yeah.
And I will say, I think it was your Malik Willis video. I was on the Malik Willis bandwagon.
Yeah.
I was ready for it.
Dude, me too.
I was actually at work the day of the draft, and we had a wildland fire out, like right, of course, when the Steelers were about to pick.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there driving, and then my dad calls me whenever I'm driving to the fire, and he's like, "Hey, we drafted Kenny Pickett." I was like, I did not see that one coming.
Yeah. No, I was honestly surprised, and I've said this in multiple videos, but I was all the way in on Malik Willis just because of, like, you know, the league that we're in right now and the mobility that, and watching guys like, say what you want about Lamar Jackson. And I've said, you know, I don't think he's a great pocket passing quarterback, but it's undeniable. Just the way a defense has to play a guy like that is so much more challenging and just so different, because you have to respect his legs and just what he can do running the football. And so when I looked at a guy like Malik Willis, and then you look at traits too, it's like people loved Ben Roethlisberger because he had those traits. And what do I mean by those traits? He had a huge arm. He could throw from the weirdest, you know, in his younger years throw from like the weirdest angles, just on the run, guys draped on him, pulling him down, brushing guys off, escaping the pocket. Like that is stuff that we watched Ben Roethlisberger do for, like 15 years when he was in his prime. And so to me, I was like, I saw a guy like Malik Willis who didn't have the size necessarily, but he was thick. He was thick built. He wasn't like a scrawny guy, but then he had everything else. His arm, I mean, I don't know if you watched his pro day.
Oh yeah, the cannon.
Rocket. Cannon. It's insane. And then obviously, I mean, mobility wise, he was more mobile than young Ben Roethlisberger ever was. So to me, I was like, and he had a good head on his shoulders. He seemed like he was willing to learn. He was a humble guy. I was like, I would take a swing on him and I would just go for it. And if you miss, you miss. You don't give up anything for him, which the Steelers wouldn't have. But they went with Kenny Pickett. And initially I was disappointed because I had talked myself into the Malik Willis, hype train. And I get it with Kenny Pickett. I made a video even before the draft where I was like, he's a first round quarterback, no doubt. Yeah. Like I get it. I like him. My only concerns with him are just his overall arm strength, which, if we're being honest, like just because he's a Steeler now, it doesn't mean it's all of a sudden elite. It's still like, it's not elite. It's just, it's good enough. It's definitely good enough, but it's not like, Patrick Mahomes level. You can be falling backwards and just launch it like 60 yards. He's never going to do that. But I get why the Steelers picked him because he is a first round quarterback. He's got mobility for sure. We saw it. He can run. He's creative outside of the pocket. He's accurate on the run, which is awesome. He's smart. I mean, just watching his tape in college this last season was freaking awesome, dude. I would put on the Steelers, right? Or I would be prepping for the Steelers to watch them like on a Sunday, but I would be watching like college football on Saturday. And I'd be like, you know what? Let me put the Pick game on and just watch Kenny Pickett. Let's see what the hype is about. And he won me over this season specifically because, I mean, just look at his stats. They were impressive across the board, but it was a dude who just pretty much dominated, just commanded that offense. Like he would drop back and he knew exactly what read to make, what throw to make, and where he had to put it. And he would do it, 90% of the time. It was on target to the right guy at the right time. And he would just carve defenses up and he would just make throws back to back to back that were like, dang, like this guy is he's commanding the offense. He looks, one of the big words that I used with him this last season was just confident. He was hands down the most confident quarterback in college football this past season. Like the way he played it and the performances he put up, it was awesome to watch. So I get it, especially because he played at Heinz Field and they were probably around him. They know who he is. He's a great guy, in my opinion, from what I've seen. I'm sure the Steelers think he's a great guy and they don't want any more controversies with quarterbacks. So that's probably something they valued a lot more this year. But he also earned it just as a quarterback. I thought he was good. I thought he was impressive, and I'm excited for him.
Yeah, they hid that card pretty well, didn't they?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I think he even said on the Pat McAfee show, because they courted all these quarterbacks, took them out to dinner.
Yep.
Pat brought it up to Kenny, and he was like, "I didn't get invited to dinner."
Yeah, they knew him.
Yeah,
they just knew him.
Yep.
To us, it probably looked like, oh, they're not interested, but they saw the guy every freaking day. Yeah. Every single day they saw him.
Yep. And that's what's I think a big part of like his big season this year is he actually had receivers catching the ball.
Yes.
If you go back into his previous years, I'm not gonna, I don't know the stats of it, but I'm pretty sure Pitt was like top 10, maybe even top 5 and dropped passes inside the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets a guy like Jordan Addison who just shoots off, and then they just ball out. Like imagine if he had a guy like Jordan Addison for the last, even 2 years rather than just this last year. I mean, I think Addison was a sophomore this last year, but I think that's big. And then I think he's very cerebral. You got to have a cerebral for that touchdown run against Wake Forest to come up with that move on the fly like that. It was like that. Thinking about it, that's a guy I want a quarterback who can just come up with something like that. Yeah, and just do it. Doesn't care what the repercussions are. Yeah, anything like that.
Yeah, to me, he's a very no BS kind of guy. Uh, he doesn't appear to be into the flashy stuff, which I actually like
Yeah.
in my quarterback. Like he wears the same stuff every day. He wears a snapback hat and gym
Yep.
shorts. He's not all iced out like a Joe Burrow or a Lamar Jackson, which no disrespect to them because right now they're very threatening quarterbacks in our division. All three of them, Watson whenever he plays and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, those are all guys you have to keep pace with. But just as far as like who I want as the face of my franchise, like, there's unless something weird develops and he gets really egotistical, but I don't see it. I think he is who he is. He's just a level-headed guy who's just there to play football, which I love. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then with the quarterback situation this year, I think I'm on the boat where I'm fine with either one, because I don't know if one gives us more wins than the other as far as the offense goes, because they both kind of fit what Canada wants in his offense. And I'm excited to watch the offense this year because I think we maybe got to see 25% of what Canada wanted to do schematically. But I'm excited for those bootlegs. And obviously, I think our offensive line is probably already 10 times better than it was last year with James Daniels and Mason Cole.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The Kendrick Green experiment was a fail.
Apparently he's potentially going to be a really good guard.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know how you can't block at center, but you can all of a sudden block at guard. It just doesn't. We'll see. I mean, I'm rooting for him, obviously, but like, it was bad. That was the worst offensive lineman I've ever seen on tape.
He was getting blown to pieces at center. I think they just saw a little bit of like the athleticism. I think they're like, oh, this guy, we can make him into Pouncey.
Yep.
That wasn't even close.
Yeah. I mean, on college tape, and I fell victim to it too. You saw the potential because one, he was at a smaller school, but he's outrageously athletic, like more so than Pouncey. He can run, he can move. Like, it's crazy how athletic he is. And at his college, against the, I guess, lower competition does mean something. He was strong and he was just beating up on guys and a bully, and he would just run around and toss guys around. And there was stuff that he had to work on for sure. Like, there was rawness there, but you would watch it and just be like, oh yeah, this guy could dominate. Like, he could be really, really like a Pouncey, like a more athletic Pouncey, honestly. But he got to the NFL and he just got outmatched with technique. By far, technique was just destroyed him at the NFL level. It was horrible, but then also strength, size, and just going up against those bigger guys, he would just get bullied. He was getting bullied in the NFL. So yeah, I
do like that they're transitioning to guard, and especially to go against Kevin Dotson, because I feel like Dotson kind of walked into the position last year thinking he didn't need to earn it, essentially. Even though I know that he started off the season in the preseason, I think second string. He played with the second team, but we all knew he was going to be the starting left guard that year.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's going to be good for Dotson. Hopefully we see the people mover that we saw his rookie year.
Yeah, I know.
That was demolishing like Fletcher Cox and Hargrave and everybody like that. But all right, let's get into your favorite free agent addition this year, because we got a lot of
them. Honestly, just to stay on topic of the offensive line, I would just say James Daniels, because we got him at a good price. He's super young. He's athletic. He's big, smart player, and he has proven tape, like, of just being consistently good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, did you see the highlight of him throwing down the Raiders linebacker?
He's a great addition at a position that was one of our biggest needs, and there's no question marks with him, which I love. With the other guys we signed, there's a little bit of question marks here and there. I do love Levi Wallace as well. I think he's going to be like steady Eddie at one of the cornerback positions, which is great. I think he plays a similar game to Joe Hayden, but Joe Hayden was just washed at the end of the year. I mean,
Yeah.
he
Well,
was
Levi's more length, a little bit. I think he's
yeah,
2
he's
inches
longer.
taller. Yeah.
Yeah, he's longer. Not as athletic as prime Joe Hayden,
Yeah.
but just as far as like steady Eddie, consistency, smart player, he fills that void that we lost when Joe Hayden really lost that step at the end of the year. I mean, when he came back from the injury, he was just getting destroyed deep. Everyone could outrun him deep. It was a little bit concerning. He was still smart as a player, so he didn't really get exposed too much, but there was a couple passes I remember where the guy just blew by him and there was nothing he could do.
Yeah.
So Levi Wallace to me is like kind of a good replacement for Joe Hayden, but overall James Daniels is going to come in and be not just a replacement or like steady, but I think he has potential to be, I mean, thinking about our offensive line, he's probably the best one on the offensive line and he's young.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He's been in the league. This is going to be his
I think
fifth year, and he's only 23 or 24.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's 24. So
Yeah. So he's with being that age and having that much experience.
yeah.
I've always been a James. I liked him in Chicago. He
Yeah.
was one of the guys I kind of pegged. I was like, if they're serious about fixing the offensive line, they go get him.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know too much about Mason Cole until they brought up the Vikings game. And they're
Yeah.
like, he was a starting guard that was making all those holes for Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
But that's the common theme with us, really. I mean, other than Trubisky, I think all those free agents always had, like Levi Wallace always balled out against us.
Yeah.
Miles Jack balled out against us. I'm gonna assume James Daniel balled out. We didn't go against, I think, 3 times in the last.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he played against us at one point. I'm not sure.
I know he did this last, or I believe he did this last season.
Yes. But not even that he balled out. It's just like it's a no-brainer. I mean, you put on any game of his and you know, like, okay, he's good.
Yeah. And then who else? Levi Wallace, Ogunjobi.
Yep.
You know, he's there with the he was getting curb stomped by
he bullied us.
Pouncey and
he's bullied us a few times. He had some great games against the Steelers over the years.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we got him for a steal. That doesn't surprise me. Omar Khan's still working his magic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little it's questionable with him because he failed the physical. Yeah. I want to know why, but that's never going to come out. But that's like my only concern with him because I loved him. Like I don't love him. I actually kind of hate him because of the history with the Steelers. But as a player, it's a great addition.
Yeah,
like, unquestionably great addition. But it's like, what was that failed physical about? You know what I mean?
I think it was due to lingering issues with his previous injury.
Yeah,
it still wasn't fully healed.
Yeah, but what does that mean? And then why did they back out so aggressively? You know, it's
a
little bit weird, but I'll trust the Steelers, I guess, to make that call.
Yeah, and you know they gave him number 91, so he's gonna have to fill the shoes to it, which I was pretty disappointed about. Which he's got his reasons, and I think some of those reasons are very good reasons.
Yeah, it sucks.
Let's revert back. You were talking about like the off-platform throws with Malik Willis.
Mm-hmm.
This was the Hall of Fame game last year. Before Haskins passed away, he made one of those, like, I don't know if you remember that, like, side throw where he like ducked under a defender and threw it. Yeah. After I saw that throw, I was like, I was all on board on him. Not even drafting a quarterback this year and letting Haskins and Rudolph battle it out just because Haskins got that first round pedigree.
Yeah.
But obviously he tragically passed away, which that was rough.
Crazy, man. I remember.
And I'm an Ohio State fan too, so
that's So you loved him for a while.
Yeah,
that was a surreal. That like I was honestly depressed for like 3 days.
Yeah,
because it's like there's just no good reason for it, you know. Like too young. Overall, a good guy. I mean, I guess it was a questionable decision to be on the highway, but that doesn't mean you should lose your freaking life. Like it was just. It was so sad when that news was on Twitter. Who reported it first? Was it Adam Schefter? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he talked about how he was troubled past. Yeah. Oh god, that's what 4 times this offseason he's done that.
Yeah, but like I remember seeing it and I was like, that can't be real. I was like, that can't be real. It was just so like earth shattering. It just it was disgusting, really. It
It,
hit in my stomach for days.
yeah, because I remember the night before watching Haskins Instagram's
Yeah.
stories, and he was posting Najee. You just
Yep.
see how down to earth he was, and then
Yeah.
yeah, the next day we were out doing some training at work, and one of the newer guys, he tapped on my shoulder. He was like, "Hey, I think Dwayne Haskins died." I was like,
Right. And you're
No,
like,
he
how?
didn't. No, he
Yeah.
didn't. I
You got
looked
the
at my
wrong guy.
watch. Looked
Yeah.
at my watch. It was like 23-year-old quarterback of the Steelers dead. I was like, oh my gosh.
Just disgusting, man.
Yeah.
Like just nausea inducing type of news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I think that was I can't remember any other active Steelers players actually dying in an off season.
I don't think so. Luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so, man.
I know there was the year of the motorcycle accident. I thought Ben was going to die, and I was like 10 or 11
Oh
at the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
That was rough.
News hit late though back then because we
Yeah.
didn't have it. So like I think I got the news when he was already like out of the hospital. So it was like I just found out, oh, he got in a car accident, but
Yeah.
he's fine. So
Yep. Yep. Okay, let's go from free agent, favorite free agent to addition. Let's go to which rookie do you expect to have the biggest impact? We'll exclude Kenny Pickett.
okay.
That's saying if he wins the starting job. I think it's going to be Trubisky.
Yeah, probably at least for the first portion of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, everyone's favorite answer is George Pickens, right?
I
But
think so, but that's not who I would pick.
I think I'm gonna say George Pickens because I think there's a hole there, and I think because he can do stuff that only one other receiver on the team can do, which is Deontay Johnson, which is just win consistently in man-on-man like situations, one-on-one on the outside, but he can also play on the inside. And I think the Steelers are absolutely in love with the guy, like they're enamored with him. And I think he's good enough where you can get him snaps, like within the first 3 weeks. I think there's packages you could put him in, especially in the red zone, just because of his like tenacity and the way he plays the football, high pointing it, his ability to just catch it with strong hands. And I think he could make some really nice just touchdown catches just in the red zone. Nothing crazy, like 10 to 5 yard touchdowns, but be that option in the red zone there. I would say George Pickens, but who are you thinking? Who's like your guy?
I would say I think with the speed aspect of Calvin Austin.
Okay.
I think with Canada and the way he likes his offense, I think we're going to see
that's fair.
Calvin Austin in there quite a bit, and even possibly in the return game.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Only reason I wouldn't go Calvin Austin is because I just don't know enough about what Canada really wants to do.
Yeah.
I have an idea, but we don't really know. But
Just,
yeah, I mean, Calvin Austin I'm beyond excited for him as well. Both of those receivers are just like, when they made those picks, I was like, let's go. Like, those were great.
Yeah. And what makes the Calvin Austin one even better is that the Ravens were going to pick him with the next pick, even though they had like 7 fourth-round picks this year. So they had plenty of opportunities to get him.
And they would have ruined him. Let's be honest. They're so bad with receivers. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching the Senior Bowl practices, and he was just eating everybody alive with his route running and everything like that.
Yeah. He's awesome. I watched a lot of his Memphis tape after we picked him up. And he is another guy that can win on the outside. A lot of people are just like, he's a one-trick pony because they see that, it's 4.3 speed, right? He didn't run a 4.2. He ran 4.3.
There's clips out there of his 40 where it looks like he ran a lot faster than his time. But
point being, like he's obviously a home run threat. That's no question. But like he can actually run routes.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm not going to say he's going to be Tyreek Hill, but he's got flashes of that with track speed and
I think that's fair,
everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's his ceiling. His floor is, just an explosive guy.
Yeah.
Who can make plays.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited about both of them. They're They hit the nail on the head with both of those guys. I was so happy when that happened.
And then what's your what do you think's going to happen this year with the season? What's your outlook?
I don't know, man. It's really hard to say, like, because it like really just depends. Like, it starts with who wins the quarterback competition.
Yeah.
You know?
So what's your okay, so let's start with what would be your stat line for both guys
For who?
if either Pickett or Trubisky starts.
Oh God. If I mean, I'm not going to go with anything too crazy. Like Pickett's stat line, I don't think is going to be like if Pickett starts a majority of the season. I don't know. I wouldn't even necessarily say like over 3,000 yards throwing.
Yeah.
Because I think they'll use his legs a lot and they'll just use Najee Harris a lot. And I would say, high 2,000s for passing yards. And then I'd be happy with like a touchdown, touchdowns in the freaking low 20s to even high teens. And then like just keep the interceptions down, just have like tops and interceptions be like at 10.
Yeah. That's kind of
10 or
the
11.
stat. That's kind of the stat line I would have for
and I would consider that a great season, by the way, for a rookie quarterback. I would. With all the new moving parts, with the offensive line still coming together, like a young team overall, a new offensive coordinator. If Kenny Pickett had a season like that, and then let's say for fun, throw in like he rushed for like 300 yards or something and a couple more touchdowns, I would say that's a really great season that would put them in contention to at least be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Assuming the defense, steps up this year, takes a step forward. Mitch Trubisky is so hard. I mean, I'm not even that optimistic about his stat lines. I would say, to me, I want Kenny Pickett starting sooner than later. I would think Mitch would have maybe a comparable stat line if he played a majority of the season, or I guess if he played the full season, you could put him at around 3,000 yards passing.
Yeah.
But I'm not that impressed with Mitch. I'm really not.
Yeah.
I watched him at Chicago. I watched his tape. I get why the Steelers went for him because he's mobile. He's played in some schemes that are kind of Matt Canada-ish, where he doesn't have to do too much, play action, rollouts, boots, all that fun stuff. But he's not going to tear you up from the pocket, drop back and throw for like 5,000 yards. It's just, I don't think that's his game.
And I don't think that's what they're going to ask from him either.
Yeah.
They're obviously, I think Najee's going to have a good chance of getting the rushing title this year.
Yeah.
With what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I can see, I don't see how people have us fourth in the division when all we've like, I think there's no doubt.
I get it because it's Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, the Super Bowl, just getting out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I think people are throwing the Steelers out with the way too quick. Like people aren't even giving them a shot, which I think is just stupid because I love Ben, but I think Kenny Pickett is probably a better quarterback than Ben was last year. And we made the playoffs.
That's why I think like our defense should be a lot better, or our run defense should be a lot better than it was last year. I think we're going to see an improved Devin Bush with Miles Jacks pushing him. And then obviously our offense is 100 times more athletic already than it was last year.
Yep.
Just between quarterbacks and receivers that we've added. Freiermuth, I think he's going to have a huge year. So, and then are you planning on going to, I'm looking at the topic list and this was weeks ago when we made it and have Hines in here.
Yeah.
Or we'll call it the Acrisure Stadium.
Acrisure. Yeah.
Are you planning on going to any games this year?
Yeah. I'm going to try and go to as many home games as I can because I got plans to film some new video ideas like at tailgates. So I'm going to obviously have to be there in person to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and go to as many as I can. I already got the tickets for the home opener and one of the Ravens games, but I'm going to try and get more, obviously.
Yeah, we're working on my dad and I are aiming for the Sunday night game against Cincinnati in November.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun.
But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you do go to those tailgates, there's only one tailgate you need to go to, though. I think
Terrible tailgate.
Oh yeah,
Yes, sir.
That's a great time every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I got to meet Kevin 6 years ago, like before it really kicked off.
Yeah.
We met him in Kansas City at the last playoff game. You know, the Steelers have won.
Yeah.
But it was such a great time. It's been so cool to see him just kind of take that and just run with it.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, he's just doing what he loves.
Yeah.
And it pays off when you do that. You know, it's just passion. It's pure passion.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of it too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I think that is all we got.
Cool.
So Adam, thanks again. Thanks for letting everybody know kind of where you came from and everything we've talked about today. It's been fun. You know, we'll try and schedule this out again. I'm gonna have to upgrade my Zoom because there's only a minute and 30 seconds left on this meeting.
There you go.
So yeah, I appreciate it, and I will hit you up.
All right, man. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yes.
See ya.
Yeah.